This is the Wow Show, Women on Women. I'm Joanne Campopo.
And I'm Ning by Zura.
And we want to wish Shaz a speedy recovery because she's not feeling well
We miss
today.
you. We miss
Come
you.
back soon.
Please.
So, Ning, who do we have today?
Today we have the woman that's changed my life completely. Dr. Premitha from Pantai Hospital. She's a specialist in Obstetrician gynaecologist. Wow, that's a tongue twister.
And then the best part is that she's all our gynaes, you know,
Yeah.
Ning, mine, and Shaz all together.
So
I'm not
she's-
sure that's good or bad, but I'll take it as good.
I think that's really good. Thank you for coming.
I mean,
Thank
let's
you.
put it this way. She's seen all our pepe.
That one I can't remember.
Yang penting. But anyway, doctor, thank you for coming.
You're very welcome.
So today we are talking, we are putting or unveiling the highlights.
Yeah, the things that
on
the women don't want to
menopause.
talk about. Adoy.
Yes, we are delving into menopause. I mean, first of all, Dr. Premitha, can you provide a simple explanation about this menopause thing? Sorry.
Sure. Now, menopause is something that's going to affect every woman. All of us are going to go through menopause. And it is a very natural change of the body.
Okay.
And that's when the periods actually stop.
And at what age does this start?
So, in the Malaysian statistics, we know that our women usually menopause around 50 to 51.
All
But
right.
that's just in a year. There is a range, and that range can be any time between 45 to 55 years of age.
Would they consider perimenopause? Is that
So, menopause
Okay.
is when a woman does not get her periods for one whole year.
Wow.
One day,
So-
Nila, you say I'm
Yeah.
menopause.
So, one whole year, no periods, you're menopause.
So if you still get periods on a monthly basis,
If you're still having regular periods and you're feeling well, you're nowhere near menopause.
Oh,
But
okay.
when your periods start skipping and they become a bit irregular and you may have some symptoms, then you're sort of going into the perimenopause.
like me.
I
and that
see.
perimenopause can be like 5 to 8 years before the actual
Wow.
menopause.
So you're having
I
perimenopause
am
at the time.
having peri.
I thought I was going through perimenopausal, but I'm still, on a regular
The
basis.
thing is, I think I've had it for a while, but I just didn't know.
Correct. Many don't realize that little subtle changes that happen is actually, leading to the fact that the periods, or rather the hormones are actually changing in the body.
Are there
and
any early signs that we can,
Hot
look
flashes lah,
look
like
out
me
for?
lah. Panas. I'm sure
Well,
she's gonna
I
say.
think one thing is very important to
Yeah,
remember
okay.
that 1/3 of women actually breeze through menopause. They're the lucky ones, no
Wow.
symptoms.
Okay.
And then slowly the periods stop. And you know what? Boom, they are in the menopause.
it's
But
too
then you
terror.
have that another 1/3. I use this 1/3 theory, this 1/3 of women that have like a few symptoms. And these few symptoms can, they're not really bothered about it. They know that it's probably the menopausal symptoms, but it's not getting into them. And then they go into menopause. But what we are concerned about is this other group where they are actually having a lot of symptoms. And they don't know how to cope. They don't know where to go. They don't know how to deal with
that
it.
was me.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. And this is the group that we actually want to pay attention to because, these are women who are probably at the prime of their life and doing all sorts of things and suddenly find that they can't cope. And that's really sad.
So Ning, when did you realize that, okay, I need to go and see somebody about this?
I mean, I think Dr. Premitha said, Ning, you're very lucky because you really know your body. But I was not in denial. I knew something was going on with me. The fact that I had hot flushes and my insomnia is really bad.
Correct.
Okay, and then my period pain from young until now, it's just I feel like I want to kill somebody. Okay, it's not funny.
But that's from young,
yeah,
right?
but it gets worse after giving birth. And I can like really stay in bed for 4 days, and I don't like that. I don't like not being able to function. I feel like it's just so sakit perut, and I cannot move. It's painful, and mood swings, right?
Can you get like hot flushes and mood swing but still be on a regular?
Can. So this is the PMS changes, So sometimes just before the period, and women in their 20s and 30s can actually feel this, that 1 to 2 weeks before the periods come in, and that's when the hormones are actually already shifting. They already feel crappy, lousy. This is when the hot spicy food come in, which they eat a lot of, and then they feel really sick after that.
You mean
they can't sleep.
Craving.
They have hot
crave for
flushes.
I crave
Correct.
for
makanan
salty
pedas.
Yes,
salty
because
food,
and
makanan
so
pedas.
they already feel very different, and then the periods come in, they feel great, and then again that swing comes in just before periods.
But I don't feel that great.
This is why,
Yeah.
of course,
Yeah.
in society, all the jokes about, don't disturb her during her time of the month.
Yes.
After that, she will bite your head.
She's also trying
That's
to
really
understand.
unfair to a
But it
woman.
is-
I
that's
really
what
think
I
that's
can.
so unfair.
Right, but that's what,
Like
We're
all
not
this lah.
blaming.
yeah, and on top of it,
but-
what they actually say is that, if someone snaps
Cranky.
for you're
if
cranky
someone
on
snaps
that,
and cranky,
cranky,
and then,
on
it
the
must be
period.
that time of the month.
Ah.
It's just not fair to put that connotation.
But it's an ongoing
Correct, and I'm
joke.
all out to fight it because you know what?
Yeah.
Not fair to that woman who is having those hormonal swings.
Because
It's
we
not
don't
what
even
she wants.
understand. Yeah.
It's not what she wants, and it's not what she craves for. It's happening, and it's our role to actually help her through that.
How do we help then?
Yeah.
Especially for friends or what do you call this, who are not, their other half. Friends or even children sometimes or
Yeah.
colleagues.
Yeah.
So we
How
are talking
do you help?
two things now. Are we talking about PMS? Premenstrual symptoms are actually something different. But basically, it is knowing that, that 1 to 2 weeks, you're going to feel a little bit different. And I always say, women, take a time out. Go for an urut. Go for a massage. You need that time out. Eat healthy. That's actually not the time to eat
Yeah,
the KFC.
that
Sorry.
leads to my
That's the
question,
time
yeah.
to eat
Big
lighter.
lighter.
Stay away from the alcohol if you are. You need to hydrate yourself.
Just alcohol
But
you
you
later
need-
je lah.
I can stay away from alcohol. It's the KFC, yeah.
So,
it's the fried chicken.
Yeah, salty food.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
so
the sugar,
PMS,
salty food.
But you see, doctor, I was trying to use this app, which got me really frustrated. I was trying to tell you.
There's an
Because-
app?
Yes,
okay,
there's
okay,
an app
Cuba
for
cerita
everything.
sikit.
Yeah, for
Nah,
everything
jom.
that I just put in my moods, my diary of like what cravings and blah blah blah. But it's still like macam ni. That's why I saw her. And I've already had a miracle fufu in my flower.
So
and it's
here's the
amazing.
thing, which also I know that at one point you
Yeah.
you came and you told us you're
Yeah,
going through
yeah.
hormone replacement therapy. What's
It
this
was
HRT
September,
thing?
isn't it?
Can't remember. Yeah,
Yes,
but it's
okay.
probably around there. Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
explain a little bit about
Well,
HRT?
first of all, I think when we talk about symptoms, a lot of women have symptoms.
Yep.
But not everybody needs hormones, and that's one of the first things I would say.
Okay.
Sometimes we just need lifestyle changes,
Okay.
and that's really important. Where we take stock of what every day is like. So here are women who, I always think women are marvelous creatures. They run the show.
Yeah,
they run
we're
the world.
goddess.
So here are women who are, the center of their family. They are, making sure there's food on the table. The kids
Correct.
go to school, do the homework, wake them up.
Everything.
Plus work, plus bring the money home, plus dealing with
Super mom.
in-laws, their own parents, whatever illnesses there are.
Yes.
And let's not forget, this is that woman that's going through that hormonal change.
Yeah.
So now she cannot multitask. Now she finds that she cannot cope with everything that's going on around her.
frustrating.
Yes.
So that brings that frustration in, that
Yeah.
depression in. That doesn't help because that starts that whole vicious cycle. And then cannot sleep lah, feel hot lah,
Now I
feel
understand.
tired.
When I found out that my mother had Alzheimer's, sorry to interrupt, it was in March, 2023. I went through like a really bad depression. I was really told. And then, boom, all at once.
Correct.
And I saw you in September, and I was like wondering, why am I crying? Everything I want to cry. Watch movie, cry. Everything is sad. And then my mother having Alzheimer's, I was crying like crazy in my own bathroom, and I feel like I want to like I'm just losing my mind.
Yep.
Not knowing that
So
I
you-
actually have perimenopause.
Exactly. So when is the right time to offer HRT? you
So
know?
again, I'm going to go one step before that.
Yeah,
all right, all right.
Because
What
I
happens
really think
before?
that lifestyle changes matter.
Yeah.
So you will advise
So-
lifestyle changes.
So this is my S system lah, or
Okay.
S theory lah.
Uh-huh.
So I always use the S's. Okay. So the S's would be the salt, sugar,
Salt, sugar.
all must take off.
Ah.
Okay. You need to handle the stress. Learn to manage stress.
How? If we
Yeah.
already our body is going through all these
Let
different.
go.
Let
Go for a boxing class.
Let go.
Let
It's
go.
funny you should say that because
Actually,
I'm dealing with a lot of abandonment issue at the moment, not because of anything, because my daughter will be leaving for college in
Empty
the next
nest.
Yeah.
two months.
That's stressful.
I'm this close to buying a corgi
What's a corgi?
or other animals.
Oh yeah, your little. Now you say
now
you're
you
gonna buy that
understand
Get a
why I need to get to Puchong.
Pomeranian, small one.
Pomeranian. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm this 2 months actually. I'm dealing with a lot of abandonment issue.
But stress is really important because women,
Yes.
on top of it, they want to make sure
Everything.
everything is perfect.
So everybody's OCD lah, not just me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Can
kan.
you feel better?
So
Konon.
sometimes good to not be so OCD
Oy.
because then everybody else around you realizes that they have to do their own thing too.
Okay, so of course, first thing is lifestyle change.
Yeah, which
cut down on
includes
your
the
salt and sugar and
sugar.
everything else.
Stress, sleep.
Stress.
sleep.
Okay, that's the sleep
Salt.
is the other thing.
Yeah.
Bukan kita boleh sleep. If
Kita
I can
punya
sleep
lifestyle.
straight away.
Kita habis show pukul berapa?
You both are. The lifestyle is
That's why
bad.
That's why she
Like-
didn't bother to just.
Yeah. Like if I'm on shoot, sometimes
Yeah.
I end like the other day. I end at 4:30 in the morning, you know, and then
pukul
after
9 lah.
And then what time do you get up?
the thing is strange enough. I realize right now because I'm older. After 4 hours, I wake up.
But we finish on a high.
Yeah.
That's the thing because we
Then you
just
need to
done a
come
really
down.
good show. Itulah.
So when we come down, we usually go mamak ke mana ke borak.
So
I mean,
that goes on to 6 a.m.
that goes depends.
Yeah.
Like okay, let's say take for example yesterday we finished a show, we went to mamak. By the time I came home it was 2 a.m. And then 2 a.m. and then by the time I
Mandi,
get
cuci makeup,
2:30
walalala.
something like that.
Look at
But
social
for
media.
me,
Yeah.
after about 4 or 5 hours, I'll immediately like wake up.
Are you fresh the next day? You okay?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that sometimes as we get older, you're not so fresh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, as we get older, we are not so, fresh anyway.
It's advisable
Yes.
for us to sleep between 10 to 3 a.m. because
No, I
that's
think
how,
because of everybody's lifestyle, I
Yeah,
actually
I
don't
mean,
look at the number of hours of sleep.
yeah,
I
okay.
look at the quality of sleep. So that's the one where you need to sleep like 6 hours if you can, and you need to have that dead sleep lah.
How?
That one
REM.
lah. How that's a
How?
question. So
How?
Put on
so when you go for a
Spotify,
show,
wherever
both
you
of
can
you
hear the
ladies,
music,
you need to
yeah.
wind down, and that's because you're on an adrenaline
But I'm
high.
better now. I'm better now.
Yeah. So the winding down and then
Yeah.
trying to get some
But I
sleep.
get a long sleep.
Yeah. Okay. So you make it up then.
Yeah.
So sleep's important because
Yes,
sleep gives that body the rest.
The time to
Yeah.
recuperate.
Recuperate,
So
recover.
that's really important.
yeah.
Okay. Then comes the most interesting S. Must have sex.
How to have sex
I
if
knew
you're
it.
alone?
Find it.
Dia yang
Find
cakap.
a way.
There's always a way.
Because that sex is very important for the vaginal health.
Okay.
The first thing she asked me was, how's sex life? Good. I said, slumber.
No, because it's part and parcel of
Yeah,
life,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's something that many
Yes.
women wouldn't want to talk about. But I do talk about it because I think it's really important as a overall treatment. So
Okay.
that's as I said, sex. That's the last S I was going to talk about.
Well, for me, I think it's like I have to wait for her to leave the nest.
Then have sex.
Yes. No, because I'm not seeing anyone, and my rule
Have you
is
heard of other places?
yes.
Then
My
just-
rule is I don't bring them home. Okay.
Good
one.
for you.
Two, what you call this? I think I'm just too famous here now.
You've heard of cars?
I don't do cars. I'm sorry. I mean, look at my body.
Go for holiday.
No for cars, But yeah. We
That's
are
very important.
figuring out.
Yeah.
I'm
So
figuring
Dr.
out.
Premitha, sorry.
Now we come to hormones. She wanted to
Nah.
know
Yeah,
about
oh,
hormones.
yes.
Hormones. Let's do
She's
the
been
hormones
dying to
now.
know about hormones.
Tell us,
Now I
tell
want to
us,
know
tell
about
us.
hormones.
So-
What are hormones?
The reason why we go through menopause is because the ovaries stop producing estrogen, which is
Okay.
the main hormone for us,
Mm-mm.
and progesterone. So when we talk about hormone replacement, it
Yeah.
is basically putting back that estrogen into the body.
Okay.
Okay, because estrogen is that power hormone that we need. So when we give you back the estrogen, then sort of settles all those little problems that you have. So if your periods are all over the place, it makes your periods regular.
Okay.
If you have hot flushes, it cuts that down. If you
Okay.
feel brain fog, cannot think, it helps with that. It makes you sleep better. It makes your skin better. So in many ways, it sort of balances up everything in the body and treats your menopausal symptoms.
What if could also one of these symptoms be not having the desire to have sex?
Absolutely. But we also know that not only estrogen plays a role with sex, but testosterone or libido is testosterone is involved in
Okay.
libido.
Yeah.
And now more and more we understand that women also need a little bit of testosterone. And that's the interesting thing that's coming in now.
Oh.
So if we find a woman who's not really responding to libido with just the estrogen, we do her testosterone levels.
So if her testosterone is too high or
No,
too
too low. Too low.
Too low?
So then
What's
we
mine?
can-
Is mine okay?
I actually can't remember.
Oh.
Okay, she
But
doesn't
if
have
I-
a
if
files
I-
here.
If I didn't have to talk
Yeah,
about it,
yeah,
that
so
means
I'm-
all is
I'm
good.
okay.
Okay, so that's how you find out as well. If let's say a woman
so
comes to
then
you.
we might want to
Yes.
give them a little bit more, but it's all directed approach. We treat what
Correct.
we do the test and then we treat it accordingly, and we need to follow up to see how things are.
I see. Okay. So it is very important at certain age, in any woman's life to actually seek a gynecologist.
Of course.
I think
I-
every
Every
girl
woman.
who's got her periods should actually make her way to the gynecologist
dengar tu,
because
dengar tu.
we are actually trying to diagnose things early in
Earlier.
life.
Okay.
So every girl, it doesn't mean she's got to go and see someone every year, but maybe get a baseline at about 14, 15, and then every 3 years or
Look,
so.
we all, I want to know what's going on in here and there, and because I think I'm much more in tune, like us. I think I'm much more in tune to my body, and I know.
But not
that there
everyone is.
Yes,
Yeah.
so we have to tell them to be open and just go and check yourself.
Yeah, and
Daripada you teka-teka,
yeah, and especially for the girls because they get sometimes wrong info from peers and wrong info from the internet.
It sounds
Yes.
very familiar. Sounds very familiar. She's looking at me going, don't lah believe what I said. But this one says, it's like this. Aiyo, Ning.
Yeah,
It's
because
true.
all the information is out there. Not
Yeah.
all
So
information
it's not for everybody.
is for you.
Yeah.
Yes, but try telling it to them. It's so difficult to get.
I
sometimes.
stopped.
Yes, good for
reading.
you.
I just so how does menopause, now I can talk about it, right, impact our bone health, and then what measures can every woman take to maintain a strong and healthy bones? How?
So-
just advise us, please.
Okay, so we talked about all the hot flushes and the sweats and sleep disturbances, but what many women don't realize is that even if they don't have any symptoms, there are changes that are going on silently in them.
Wow.
So that's
Okay.
really important, and these silent changes will not show then. It will show 10 years
yeah.
later, 15 years later. And the three main areas that we are looking at is the bone, the heart, and the brain. So in the bone, so the estrogen which I talked about
Yeah.
is very important to keep the bone stronger.
Okay.
So when the estrogen levels come down, then the bones, and I'm not talking about sakit sendi or joint pains. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the matter inside the bone, so the the inside part of the bone. in Malay we call it the kepadatan tulang. The
Wah,
inside
pandai
part.
cakap
My Malay is very good.
Kepadatan tulang.
Okay.
So what
And
happens is that you get it becomes porous.
So this will help for any women to recover as well, right? If your bone density is
Yeah,
like
so
really...
basically estrogen therapy is the only therapy that prevents bone loss
Right.
and treats osteoporosis. So that's what's really good about it. So when you get these little holes in the inner part of your bones, these holes join up and then you get a hollow bone, and that's called osteoporosis.
I see.
So then you have these women who they cough and they can fracture at the back.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, I've
they
heard
just
of
have a
that.
gentle fall and then they
Like my mum.
then they have a fracture at the wrist joint or the hip fracture.
Yeah,
And the
it takes
sad
so
news is
long.
that about 20% of women and men who have a hip fracture die within 1 year.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really, the stats are there all over the world. It's scary stats. So that's why looking after the bones is very important. So it's important to don't wait till 50
Terus
years
I
old
ambil
and then wait.
calcium and
No,
magnesium
no,
lepas
tak
ni.
boleh, tak boleh.
Confirm my
Doesn't
bones
work.
is all over
No,
the
I
place.
know.
Because
already.
you need to build your bones in the first 30 years of your life.
Too late
And if you don't-
already.
So you need, this is
Yeah.
like bank balance lah. You know,
Yeah.
you need to save the money and then you lose the money, not so important, not so bad.
So
So
we
you
have
need
to
to
start now when
build
you're
the
young.
bone balance in
Correct.
the first 30 years, 25 to 30 years. That means our teenagers have to walk, go out in the sun, take calcium and vitamin D.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then they build up the bones.
Yep.
So then later when they start losing the bones, not so bad lah, because the reserve is very high.
Betul. Like, but what you say is that you're only gonna okay, so they need to do a test to see whether we need estrogen or not. Is that
So
that
you're
what
talking
you're
about women?
Yeah,
No, we
women.
no need to do blood test.
Okay.
So basically, we treat symptoms. We only do the blood test if I get like someone who is not of the menopause age, maybe less than 40 or less than 45, and they've come in and I'm not sure, hey, this girl menopausing already. Why is she
going on?
menopausing so early?
Yeah.
Then I do a blood test. But otherwise, if she's in the natural
Age
range
group.
of menopause, I don't do a blood test. I don't treat the blood test results. I treat her, which is more important. So treating her would be like if I have Ning in front of me and I say, okay, how do I keep Ning going for the next 30 to 40 years of her life? Because average lifespan in this country is 75. That means, half the women in Malaysia will die after 75. So if menopause is at 50, you're looking at a woman going through
To another
1/3 of her
20,
life,
25
1/3
years
of her
more.
life after menopause. So then I look at Ning and say, okay, I need to keep Ning going for the next 30 years. And I'm not looking at looks, I'm looking at inner health.
Inner health,
So,
yeah.
it's about how you feel, how your bones are, how your heart is. So it's a whole aspect of how to keep her well that comes in when we are looking at women with menopausal problems.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So
interesting to know.
menopause can also have more like perimenopause, or have emotional, and I have that a lot, and unhealthy mental health. So I mean, what would you advise women out there? How can they navigate this? What should they do? They don't want
We
to talk.
talked about OCD just now.
Yes.
So that OCD.
I was never, but Dr. Premitha, I was never OCD. I was so malas. And then suddenly things just changed.
Then
in
suddenly
me.
you became
because
OCD.
your world changed.
Yes.
So your world changed and you couldn't cope with the
Yeah.
world changing. So
With
you
my
know,
mother's
your
case as
correct.
well.
So your secure environment changed.
Yeah.
So when you come home,
Yeah.
that's your secure environment. Your mom's well,
Yeah.
your son's there, your husband's there. Everything is working well. But now you come home, you cannot relax because your environment that you now considered like heaven has changed.
That's my
So
problem
because
now.
of that, now you're fighting it. And
Yeah.
now you want everything to be well because you think that if that area is well, you will be well. So you become OCD.
So now I clean up earlier. As soon as they finish dinner, I clean, and I have to close one eye. My husband says, just tutup
Let go.
mata. Okay, fine. Just tutup mata, tutup ni whatever, and just
So the point to take home
Yeah.
for today is to let go.
Yeah, I think
And to talk
well,
about it as
to
well.
talk about it, to
Yeah.
know that hormones actually can affect a woman,
Yeah.
not only at her mind but every part of her body,
Yes.
and
Yes.
you know, be aware, be frank about it. Seek someone who you can talk to.
Yep,
It
yeah,
can
that's
be your
important.
friend, it can be your GP,
Yep.
it can be your gynecologist.
Yes, you're not
Find that
alone.
person to talk to, because just by talking, and that person is able to arrange your
Yeah,
thoughts,
yeah.
tell you what to do in the little things I talk to you about.
Yeah.
You know, about lifestyle changes, exercising, and then taking a holiday, going for a holiday. And I
I
actually
like
believe
that.
that.
I love that.
actually like a
Yellowstone,
holiday
that's
on
our
your
boy.
own,
Yeah.
or on with your girlfriends.
Not with your children and
No,
husband.
because when you go
Yeah.
with family,
You're
you have to make
stressed.
sure
Girls.
everybody else
Yeah.
is well.
Yeah.
Or just yourself.
Yes.
Just
So
yourself
nice,
is good.
It is
I
wonderful.
I love
Yeah.
going on
Because
holidays
if
on
you
my
go out
own.
for the holiday with family, you know, you got to make sure that they are carrying their passports,
You
they're
know,
carrying
you
this,
need
they got
another
money
holiday
here.
after
Then you
that.
And then you have to make sure that their breakfast, their lunch all
Yes,
settled.
betul.
Here you go on your own, you tak kisah.
And then you don't care. You just do what you
Take care,
want.
you want to wake up at 10 o'clock, so you wake up at 10
Yeah,
o'clock.
you're
It
not
doesn't
stressed by
matter.
like a tour or
and
anything.
you don't have anyone asking you why you're buying this
Yeah.
and why you're not buying this.
You know, I was lucky enough when my husband found out that, okay, you're going through some perimenopause, you're taking care of mom with Alzheimer's. He actually sent me away, and I got scared. I was like, but I've never been away. Just go lah.
That's
You know what?
fantastic.
I didn't bother to call home till like malam only. I was like, bestnya. Because tak ada line, I pun like, tak payah. Yeah, okay, at night ni I call. But the fact that you really need to have an
But
understanding
Yeah.
partner
Correct.
too.
I was coming to that. That
Yeah.
supportive partner is so important. I mean, I'm
Yes.
blessed. I have a supportive partner
Yeah,
who
supportive
takes my
partner.
nonsense.
Yeah.
But
No
not
choice,
every.
I
but,
was sama.
but not
So yours all
everybody.
no choice
No.
also.
Yeah.
I don't think they have
But
a
they
choice
learn.
about it.
I would figure that with partnership.
Joanne, honestly, my husband was the happiest. When I took him in, what did he say to you? He's like, he was so happy, He was
That
just,
finally.
Yeah, I mean, mood swings, I was going cuckoo. I can say I was going like nuts. I was just like trying to understand myself too. We were having silly fights about, why aren't you sleeping? Why can't you sleep? I'm like blaming myself. Why? Why? I also got a bit mental thinking about it. Why? I'm trying. If I miss that window, which is like really early, 9:30. Yeah, I tried sleeping at 9:30 p.m. and I'll wake up at 3:30.
Yeah, betul. So that means you have to sleep slightly later to adjust your
yes,
clock.
I try to now.
But what you say is true. Like it's
Yeah.
amazing that at least with your partner, your husband.
Oh yeah, it took him
Yeah.
a while, honey.
Kan?
He was.
But it's a working relationship. I mean,
Yeah,
any kind of
yeah,
relationship, you got to
yeah.
work at it,
But
right?
I'm blessed. I'm
Yes,
blessed. I'm
yes.
blessed that he understands. Maybe he's going through his
Andropause.
andropause. I shouldn't say that.
Ooh, so that's another
That's
thing.
another
Another
topic
time.
that we have to talk about. But okay, this is something that I think we would like to know. If we don't do HRT, are there any natural remedies?
Again, I'm going to say that not everyone needs hormones.
Yeah.
But I
Okay.
think everyone needs to stock check at that point.
That's why they have to watch our show,
Kan,
and then we will tell
kan.
them.
Okay,
You know?
so of course,
True.
before therapy comes into play,
Yes.
we have to change our lifestyles, right? I
Yes.
mean, I hear you a lot, and I know that. Okay, so lifestyle changes. We're talking about eating slightly healthier, trying to have as less stress as we can.
So, Dr. Premitha, if a woman out there, or any women do not want to take or do hormone replacement therapy, or don't even want to, but they know that they have something's going on, are there any natural remedies? What would you advise?
Well, I think what is really important is that every woman should do a stock check, and think, okay, how am I going to keep myself going
Don't
for
be
the next
denial
20
lah.
to 30 years of my
yeah,
life?
yeah.
Not everyone needs hormones.
Yeah.
I'll be the first person to say this.
Yeah.
But everyone needs to look after themselves. And I
Yes.
think that's really important. Now, I think this is the time actually that every woman should take a stock check of herself.
Okay.
She needs to now plan and see what she can do to age gracefully.
Okay, gracefully,
And
we like that.
joy-
joyfully,
we say,
and be
yes.
happy about the next 30, 40 years
Yes.
of
Okay,
her life.
how do you take stock check? You were mentioning this.
So
is
one
that
of the most important things is to go for a checkup.
Okay.
there are lots of places that one can go for a checkup. I mean, there are lots of executive screening profiles in hospitals. But you know what? It can be a simple chat with her GP, whom she's known for a long time, who knows her, who knows what to do. And what every woman should realize is that they need, if they're sexually active, they need a pap smear. Don't run away from it.
Of course.
But you know it. But many takut because they worry and they Google. I had one today, and she Googled and she said it's going to be so painful. And then she said, "Oh, that's it. Finish." I said, "Yeah, finish." So the fear factor of something that's unknown. To go for a mammogram because they feel that their breast will be squashed and all sorts of problems.
I haven't done that.
And and if necessary, a bone density blood test. So I think that's what we need to do, to be aware, because that would be the first step. Not everyone needs hormones, but everyone needs a checkup. And then depending on the blood test, tweak here, tweak
Then
there.
we can sleep better.
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
So basically a general blood test, of course.
Well, I normally would add some thyroid tests because thyroid can play up at the time of menopause.
But that's the test. I'm talking about natural remedies.
Yeah,
What can
then
we
you
do?
come to natural remedies. Why do I want to do natural remedies first?
Yeah.
So
You
you know what
find out what's
everybody
wrong
does?
with you
You know what
Yeah,
this
yeah,
menopausal
okay,
lady
okay.
does?
Yeah, what?
They go to the pharmacy and then they go polypharmacy, then they
and
buy
then
this
everything.
this one, and
No,
don't know
I-
what's working.
I don't diagnose
they just-
myself that way. I
But,
cannot.
but a lot
A
of
lot of
people,
people do that. Yeah.
What many don't realize is fish oil is a blood thinner. Ginkgo is a blood thinner. St. John's Worts gives you, things like photosensitivity. So it's not that it is bad. It is just that individuals can have problems. And then you champo all that together, you get
Wow.
double whammy,
Oh,
triple
for
whammy.
women who's menopausing.
Anyone, men or women. So you know what? Take supplements with care. Speak to someone about it. Now, the one supplement that we do advise women to take is calcium and vitamin D. But calcium is
Okay.
again best from, calcium-enriched foods. Now, about the herbal stuff. Many women take herbal stuff, and if they want to take it, I don't stop them. But no need to take for 1 year, 2 years. If it's going to work within 3 months, it's going to work. Then can stop
See.
because
okay,
it
okay.
works for the change. But once you hit there and you're well stopped,
Yeah.
But would you know whether, because I know some people
Yeah.
continue just to take.
no point. You waste
Yeah.
money only.
Because they're so used to it
Yeah,
already.
but they don't seem to realize that it's not working for them.
Right.
Okay, so it's fine because it'll help you with a little bit of a change. And again, the herbal therapies for menopause, they have a placebo effect. Work
I
only for
see.
about 50 to 60% of the time, and it usually goes away with time. So that's why you need to stop it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in order to do all this, okay.
You wear out lah.
Wear it out.
The guarantee habis.
Habis. Yeah.
Let's talk about steps to ensure that we get the right advice or the right test or even the right, remedies.
Yeah.
What can we do?
I think what one shouldn't Google. Please don't Google.
Don't Google. Every day we Google. Every day.
Speak to the GP. Speak to your general
Yes,
practitioner.
Yes.
Speak to your
But I didn't find you
gynecologist.
then.
Oh,
I'm
now it's
so
okay.
Grateful. My girlfriend from New Zealand actually introduced me to her.
Speak to
it's
your
so amazing.
gynecologist who's delivered your babies.
Not really.
You know,
My gynae asked me to go and have some more children. So that's why I said
see,
cannot.
think about it. Think about it in a good way that your gynae thought you're very fertile.
She
Yeah.
is.
I guess so.
You apparently
Okay.
I have
So
eggs.
wrapping up.
Yes.
Wrapping up.
Yeah.
All right. Of course.
Yeah.
Dr. Premitha, what's the number one advice you can give to women?
I think don't be scared about menopause. It's going to affect all of us.
It's a
Learn
natural thing,
about
kan?
it, face it.
Yep.
Because a lot of things can be managed with simple solutions. And if you still are suffering during the menopause, there's always hormones, and hormones are safe for selected women.
So I guess at the end, we don't have to be afraid
No,
of
not at all.
menopause.
Yeah.
Not at all.
And with that, we want to thank Dr. Premitha for sharing her invaluable time and, of
Yes.
course, all her advice with us at the Wow Show.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Premitha.
Thank you.
So that's a wrap.
And
And
this
is the
a
Wow Show. We just want to thank Pondok Nasi Bakar, kan? Thank you so much for giving us food. So
Yep.
yummy.
And of course, we want to thank our venue sponsor, Ascot Central, a symphony of hospitality and a tapestry of luxury. Thank you so much, Ascot Central.
See you again.
And this has been the Wow Show.